Believe it or not, just 4 months now until the August primaries, and the race for governor is really ramping up.
Of the candidates vying to be the Democrat who challenges Governor Ron DeSantis, two of them brought their campaigns right here to South Florida this week. Crist, now a congressman, and Nikki Fried, Florida's Commissioner of Agriculture, both here making their cases about why he or she would be the Democrats' best chance to unseat the governor.
Nikki Fried is with us live today via Zoom. Commissioner, welcome. We're glad to see you as always.
Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to see you both.
There is a third Democrat vying for that opportunity, Annette Taddeo, Senator Annette Taddeo. I don't want to give her short shrift today, but Nikki Fried, great to have you.
All right.
Thank you.
Nikki, and we know each other, so it's going to use first names here, if you don't mind.
We know each other a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the baseline question. As Glenn had just said, Annette Taddeo, Charlie Crist are your opponents here vying for the nomination. Why are you the best choice for Democrats, and why would you, better than they, defeat Governor Ron DeSantis?
You know, first of all, Democrats are looking for somebody who's going to stand up to the nonsense that we just heard from Representative Randy Fine and be able to not just be able to counterpoint it, but show the people of our state the ludicrousy of those arguments. And I've been doing it for 3.5 years, standing up against this type of rhetoric, and won in 2018. That is something that Democrats have to understand, that if we are going to win, and we are going to not just save democracy for our state, but for the nation, then we need somebody who has a proven track record of winning, has a laundry list of accomplishments, not just as commissioner, but when I was fighting for homeowners during the foreclosure crisis right in South Florida, to when I was a public defender fighting for justice in our system. That's what Democrats are looking for. Somebody who can win, somebody who understands all of the moving parts of our state, and somebody who's going to be able to unify our state. Look, in 2018, I outperformed the top of the ticket when it came to votes in South Florida, had more crossover votes than we've seen in almost any election. I know how to win our state. I've got the right messaging, talking to the people of our state and making sure that we have somebody who's going to show up for them every day and fight.
Okay, that could be like your campaign speech right there, and maybe it is. But let's talk about the news of the week right now. Kind of an eyebrow-raising development, this lawsuit that you filed against your party's own Biden administration. And it's over medical marijuana. People who use medical marijuana in Florida at the moment legally cannot own guns, cannot purchase guns. Your department sort of oversees both. Why did you file this lawsuit? Couldn't that be handled in a less aggressive way?
Look, Glenn and Michael, you know from all the times that we've talked, and everybody across the state knows that legalization and inequities of the medical marijuana laws of our state have been something that I have been championing on and fighting for decades at this point. And Congress, it has not moved. And so seeing not just on this issue when it comes to gun rights, but we see people all across our state who are using medical marijuana being fired from jobs, VA veterans not being able to get their VA benefits, losing of their housing. So there's a lot of rights right now that medical marijuana users are being deprived of because they're choosing a medicine that is a guaranteed right also in our Constitution if you become a medical patient. And this is something that I have been working on for years, and specifically on this one since I became commissioner. And we have been working on it since I got into office. Unfortunately, we had this pandemic, and that had to be our priority, making sure that we have all hands on deck to get our state and our country through the pandemic. And look, this is supposed to be a friendly lawsuit with the Biden administration. We've been talking to them. We called them beforehand. We said, look, this is an opportunity for us to work together to make some changes to the ATF form. And this is ultimately going to make people more safe. We as Democrats have, things that we're talking about as common sense gun regulations. And that includes everybody receiving a complete background check when purchasing a gun. Right now, we're forcing medical marijuana patients into illegal markets and or lying on this form, which is a felony. So this is an opportunity to showcase.
Let me just go under the theory that every time an elected official who's running for something does something, it kind of crosses both service and campaigning. And so in the other sort of direction, this lawsuit really has the attention in a way of Republicans as well. Was that your intention?
Look, this issue, we all know. Medical marijuana and legalization crosses party lines. It's how I won in 2018, coming up with issues that are common sense that people across our state believe in. We voted 72% for medical marijuana. If you poll legalization across the country and across our state, it is over 60%. This is something that needs to be fixed in Congress. This needs to be fixed on getting more people opportunities to participate in this new green industry. This is something that's crossing party lines. This is why, going back to our first question, why I am Democrats' best chance to defeat Ron DeSantis in November.
Yeah. Nikki, I understand that there are 771,000 Floridians who have qualified for a medical marijuana permit. I don't know exactly what license, you have to go to a doctor to get it. You, in fact, have one of those, do you not?
I do. And I've been very vocal about that. It's one of the things that I ran on to make sure that we're.
Why do you? Because, the legislation made it fairly clear that this was principally for people with Parkinson's or ALS or serious cancer, awful pain. What is your reason for having a medical marijuana permit?
First off, this is a personal medical issue, but I certainly have been very open about it, that I've experienced PTSD. And that's another issue that we're seeing. One of the reasons why this even was in our Constitution and why it's been pushed all across our country is because of individuals, especially our veterans who are coming back and are having PTSD and are looking for other alternatives than the other types of medications that have been prescribed to them, alcohol, or in some effects, unfortunately, we've seen a lot of our veterans commit suicide. So PTSD has been a huge aspect of moving our country forward on legalization and destigmatizing the medical marijuana.
Nikki Fried, sit tight. We have a quick break to do. We'll be right back with more conversation when we come back.
Thank you.
We are back with candidate for governor and Agriculture and Consumer Services Commissioner Nikki Fried, the longest title in state government. So Nikki, let's talk about the campaign a little bit. Nancy Pelosi, House Speaker, endorsed Charlie Crist for this. What is your take on that? That actually surprised, the actual endorsement surprised a lot of people here. Not that she would or wouldn't, just that. So before I get all tangled up in something I probably shouldn't be saying, what do you think?
We all know that Charlie has friends in Washington, D.C. My goal is to protect the people of our state, to focus on the issues here and not focusing on what's happening in Washington, focusing on Florida. So,
okay, wait. No. That's happening here. The House Speaker endorsed a Florida candidate for governor. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I said, he has friends in Washington, D.C. I think that also shows a really big disconnect of where the people of our state are when it comes to their policies and coming to their politics. And again, I think it shows a real disconnect that Charlie has on the people of our state and what their issues are.
Yeah. Nikki, yesterday afternoon, you were in Homestead at what was billed as a gubernatorial candidates forum. You were there. And they had invited Charlie Crist. He was a no-show. Now, I don't know whether he had ever confirmed his appearance, but he wasn't there. You were. And in the course of this, you said we ought to have 5 statewide debates before the August 23rd primary. Is that realistic? I mean, you think there are going to be 2 debates?
Look, he did confirm. We moved around our entire schedule to be down to show up for the people of South Dade and show up for the people of our state. He dropped out the night before. So he didn't want to come onto stage and to actually have those conversations about issues, about what is impacting people today, going on the record about our past issues that he has not been good on, including reproductive rights, including the LGBTQ, including criminal justice. I mean, there's a litany of issues that Charlie Crist has to be accountable for his past. And so being the fact that he refused to show up yesterday at this forum, we called on 5 debates. And so I hope that he takes that challenge and is willing to come onto stage with me and have a real conversation about who we are, where we come from, what we're willing to fight for, and give a real differences, because there are, showing to the people of our state and the Democrats who is that true Democrat who's going to stand up for the things that we all believe in, and who's going to be our champion in Tallahassee. And unfortunately, the people of our state didn't get that opportunity yesterday to see those differences.
I just want to put on the record, in fairness, we here actually don't know why he didn't show up and what his reasons are. So I just want to throw that out there. Nikki Fried, when Michael and I were talking just a little while ago, affordable housing is actually one of our community's biggest issues. And I know that's something that you have a plan for.
Yep. Yeah, look, when I first launched this campaign, I did a listening tour all across our state, getting buy-ins from people about what is on their minds. And let me tell you that the number one thing that I heard consistently, whether I was in Key West, I was in Central Florida, I was in the Panhandle, was affordability. And so we have to be declaring a state of emergency. I've asked the governor to do so. He has refused to. So on day one of my governorship, that's what we're going to do, because that is exactly what's happening.
Yeah, if I could jump in, Nikki, I beg your pardon, but the legislature this year once again took $100 million out of the Sadowski Housing Trust, which helps people buy houses. And, as governor, would you stop that?
Yeah, first of all, Michael, you're correct. We have now calculated that since Jeb Bush, so Jeb, Charlie, Rick, and Ron collectively have gutted $2.3 billion from that trust fund. Can you imagine how many affordable homes and complexes could have been built over the last 25 years? And so I have said, I will never sign a budget that is laid on my desk that touches 1 cent from the Affordable Trust Housing. That is just unacceptable. That shows that this Republican legislators and these Republican governors did not have the people as a priority. Charlie gutted over $530 million from the Sadowski Fund. Yeah. That's something that I want to talk about and show the people of our state that we've got a plan, including having an increase of our homestead exemption from $50,000 to $100,000, and anything over 10% rent increases is price gouging, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, well, we are going to invite you. We're inviting you right now. Glenna and I want you and Charlie and Annette to come on this program, and you can certainly have a full hour to debate each other. And I hope you will say, yes, I'll do that.
Absolutely. Anytime, any place. I think that we have to talk about the issues, and for the people of our state to see the clear differences between myself and my opponents.
All right. Nikki Fried, thank you so much.
Thanks
we
so
appreciate
much.
it.